right, so let's
really
watch
are.
this first really quickly. There was a group of women on a podcast. This has been making the rounds. And I guess the host, I'm not familiar with it, but the host kind of called them to task, and they didn't know what to do with it. They're proclaiming what a wonderful thing it is for women in their 20s to not be in relationships. And they use these broad terms like explore themselves. Anyway, just see how this goes down.
I know that they're talking to a bunch of guys, so why would I close myself off to just that one guy? Right? I don't know.
No, that makes
Do you guys agree?
Yeah, like why would I take someone seriously when clearly they're not
no
taking
one-
me seriously at all?
Yeah,
Yeah,
especially because
exactly.
we're all like in our early 20s. Like this is the time to
To like explore and find yourself too.
exactly.
When you say explore and find yourself, does that mean just like get run through by a bunch of dudes? Just I just want to translate.
Where did you get that?
I just
I
I'm
meant
just
like
translating here.
literally finding who you are. Like
The correct answer is yes. That's what they meant.
Or girls.
Yes. Here's the thing. You're like, we're in our 20s. Yeah, the World War II was won by women in their 20s. Like, that was a big part of, the war effort.
Yeah.
Like, back in the day, women in their 20s were working, they had children, they had established families, they had a home. You don't have to, in your 20s, have a bunch of meaningless relationships and one-night stands. It is true. There is a double standard, just to be clear. There is a double, and it's not that we're setting it. Biology is setting the standard. Men don't have that kind of a window. Men can have kids well into their, gosh, Abraham, I mean, you go like probably into your 90s. I don't know, but I'm sure it can be done. I mean, you need assistance. But you do have a certain window. And if you're saying, oh, I'm going to waste my 20s, and women often get into their 30s and they go, they end up settling. You say, I'm not going to settle for anything less than perfect when you're in your 20s, and then you end up settling for a trash bag in your 30s because now you're up against the clock. And I'm not saying, just to be clear, people use this term slut shaming all the time. No, look, I'm not slut shaming anybody, okay? That being said, look, can we all acknowledge that not most women are whores, okay? Let's be clear about it. Probably not even a plurality, okay? But some are.
And it's a bad idea.
Are we not allowed to say that some are at this point? Yeah, well, if you're just going on and you're going into it with the mindset of, I am going to sleep around, because it's my 20s, some women are.
And we'd like to thank your dad.
Find guys that are serious about you. Don't settle for the guys that obviously aren't taking you seriously. By the way, if you want to be taken seriously, be somebody that can be taken seriously as well. You didn't quite look like that, but you're young, I get it.
It's this baseline. It's this baseline of, we're in our 20s, so this is what we do. Something happens in college. I was in college, so I, was getting ripped all the time. Look, I drink. I'm not someone I don't drink a lot. I have no problem with people who drink. I have no problem with people who do these things responsibly. But to say, well, the baseline is if you're in college, it's 4 years of glorified alcoholism, it doesn't have to be that way.
Right.
And this is perpetuated by, of course, the entertainment industry saying, well, this is what women should do in your 20s. This is what you should do in college. No. You can make good decisions at any point in your life. And they're so dumbfounded. Like, is that what? No, that's not what we mean. Well, what do you mean? I mean, have a bunch of relationships and sleep with a lot of guys. Okay, here's the issue. And I will say it is a double standard when people say, why am I a slut if I do this and men aren't? Okay, that is true. Here's why. You're the gatekeeper. Your set point, women, you control access to sex, right? Because your natural set point is no, I don't know, prove your worth. A man's natural set point is please. So you are the rate limiting factor. Take advantage of it. We've tried to empower women by stripping them of something with which they're powerful. The ability to pick a suitor. You've given it away.
Yeah, you have value.
Yes.
You
have inherent value.
Yeah, that you can use. Like if I ever hit rock bottom, I just can't go out and sell myself.
No, you can't.
No.
Well,
I can. It's just going to be to other men.
Yes, exactly.
All right, so that's Steven Crowder reacting to one of our videos. Let's have, and Frank, thank you for this super chat. We'll get to it after we have the people's reaction here. Your reaction to the video. And you touched on a couple different points, but your reaction.
I think, what did he say? Like, we're giving away our value as women?
Well, he said a lot of things, but I mean, one of the things that we sort of talked about earlier on in the show is that you don't have, even though you're young, you don't have to go through a hoe phase, basically. You can be trying to find that long-term serious guy.
I mean, I think in that regard, it's really up to the person. If you find the right person. Some people find the right person in high school, for example. You meet that person in high school, you settle down with them, they essentially...
Please talk into the microphone.
Oh, sorry. I think some people, for example, they meet their forever person in high school. Some people, they don't get married until they're in their 30s. It's really up to personal preference.
Would you agree that our culture right now pushes girls to be basically promiscuous and have lots of sex?
I think society now just pushes women to have their own choice, because women traditionally, not men, have always had people like rules on saying what we can and cannot do, kind of, in terms of sex. So now I think it's like we want to liberate women, and I'm here for that. So
Yeah, because I think that's kind of the point that Stephen was making, is that we push that in the culture right now for girls to go out and find themselves, meaning have lots of sex, and that is going to lead you to down the line realize that that's not something that like you're probably going to regret it. A lot of girls are regretting it, and the good thing is that YouTube is now, there's more girls out there putting content out about this exact thing. Girls that were feminists way in their 20s, now they're in their 30s talking about how they wish that they hadn't done some of the things they did in the past. And I think it's important that girls look at that and learn from it.
I think just
Well
for
said.
me personally, like if the right guy, I think this whole phenomena for me is if and when the right guy comes around, like I'm ready and I'm open to it. I'm not like waiting for some specific age for that. I'm not waiting for some specific age for that to happen. I'm also not trying to get married too early. I'm not trying to get,
When do you want to get married?
I really don't have a specific, it's just if the right person comes along for me.
Let's say the right guy came along tomorrow and he was like, Lauren, you're amazing. Like, let's go
I mean,
out.
there's a lot of guys that'll say, Lauren,
Hold
you're
on, hold on,
amazing,
hold on,
but...
hold on, Lauren, hold on. 6 months down the line, you guys have really hit it off. You've fallen in love, and he's like perfect.
Okay,
and
honestly...
he wants to marry you. Would you do it?
I'm someone who does really like think with my heart a lot. Yeah, if it was the right person and I really loved him, then yeah, I would. I honestly would, so...
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that.
I mean, for me, it's not more about like...
I was expecting you to say, I want my freedom until I'm like later in my 20s.
No, I think with my heart a lot, honestly, if someone came along tomorrow and we just like clicked, because that happens for me, someone will come along and I'm just like, oh my God, I need this person. Yeah, I think if that were to happen, I would definitely be like, that's a person for me. But right now that's not happening, so I'm not going to force it to happen just because the society's like, you should get married at this age.
Your reaction to the video?
Well, I think hookup culture is still perpetuated. I mean, on my TikTok, I see all the time, like, people giving advice for, like, guys you're hooking up with, like, all this stuff about, in college, like, who you're hooking up with, blah, blah, blah. But, yeah, I do agree with Lauren in that it's, like, a personal thing. Like, if you don't want to engage in that culture, you don't have to. Yeah, but I do think social media and society still pushes that in some ways.
I mentioned this last time I was on, but I have a very strong opinion that our modern culture is heavily promoting and pushing hookup culture and casual sex on younger girls, telling them it's empowering, telling them it's good for them, telling them it's how they're going to find themselves, even though I don't know what you're learning about yourself by having sex with a guy. Tell me where, like, is it the pillow talk where you learn everything about yourself? You can't be doing that in any, like, more meaningful way.
Do it! Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to press that one. My bad. I did not mean to press that button. My bad. Go. Sorry, keep going. Keep going.
And then,
Subversive Brian.
On another note about, like, what if, like doing this, like having fun, sleeping around until the right guy comes around. Personally, I feel like I am not only like welcoming and attracting like the best guy possible by abstaining from hookup culture, but that is like I don't see it as like I'm denying myself by not hooking up with or going out with guys who I know aren't the type that I'm looking for. It's more of like I enjoy the fact that I feel like I'm rewarding my future partner and like my future husband and stuff by having my priorities in line and protecting
I can
like
tell
my body
you,
and work.
Tara, 99% of guys are going to really appreciate that.
Yes.
I mean, I hope so. I mean, I'm just going off the impression that that's like, I think it was a lie to like tell girls that the ego boost you're getting from having sex with tens and tens of guys is worth not only just like the STD birth control things you're, you know, like exposing yourself to, pregnancy risk, but just, yeah.
How did you get to this point? Because a lot of girls, you know, like you just said, like guys will really listen to you if you say these things. You know, we look for that. So, but how did you get to that point?
That's a good question. I definitely feel like I was lied to, like when I was younger. Lied to in the way of the pressure to like be a strong, independent woman by having casual sex was very strong, and that is the right way to do it. That would be good for me in the long run. I have no one. I mean, my parents were never sort of strict about sex. I never felt any family pressure. I didn't grow up religious. I'm religious now, but I didn't have that before to be compelling me towards some sort of, you know, route sexually. I just sort of had to find it on my own. But it was really just, I mean, it was a combination of just being self-reflective and asking myself, what am I getting out of this? Because I feel like I'm not getting anything. I think I deserve better.
Are your friends sharing the same beliefs as you?
Yeah, that's also a good question. Something that I was going to say, because I'm a 21-year-old girl, you know, having the time of my life, like in my 20s, but I don't drink and do alcohol. I mean, I don't, you know, drink and do drugs heavily. I'm not like going out to frat parties every night. I don't engage in casual sex or like hookup culture. And I would still say, compared to my friends, I'm happier, I'm healthier, and I have, a more stable sense of like my self-worth and my priorities in line. I advocate to them every day, like all day, every day. They'll be like, why is this guy, like, they'll be so fixated on how do I get this guy to take me seriously? But all they want to do is meet guys at a club downtown or meet him at a frat party. And yeah, I'm like, come on, I don't know. I feel like there's your hint.
Yeah.
So I found the video interesting, especially since, you know, I don't think your age is a excuse to have a certain type of behavior. When I was 22, I was having a baby, and I was having a family, and I was working full time. So, you know, in those aspects, it's like there is a whole hookup culture that now that I'm in the dating world again, is so hard to relate with. It's so difficult to relate with these people because I obviously wanted the family at the age that everybody was at the club. Mm-hmm. I was working full time while they're working at restaurants and going to classes.
Did you